with our lesson that we are having this evening. And the lesson that we're having this evening is to establish the difference between what they call the old and the new. See, because we know that there's many false representation of the material that's been collected that they now call the Bible. We know this. We know that it was never intended that we, especially black Americans, ever find out that this book belonged to us. That's why we should be ever so thankful that in the borders of our captivity, that we would have something, because if we depended upon those that brought us captives to teach us anything, it definitely wasn't going to be about us. The captive never teaches the slave that he's better than the master. You understand what I'm saying? It would be counterproductive in his whole measure to enslave you. But Yahweh, our God, that allowed us to come into this country because of our disobedience, allowed a important document to follow us into this country. And guess what? They put it together and had scholars read it. And when the scholars said that it wasn't anything that they found that was pertinent, that would do any good to anybody other than those that were structuring it, that they could use it to enslave, because that's really what Christianity was about. It was to impress upon them that the rulers was God's image on earth and in heaven. See, so even the Bible, Psalm 49, tell you thought that I was like one of you. That's in there. So they do think, and they think that they hold a measure with the eternal God, that because of their great prosperity of robbery, that God holds them in favor, because it says, because punishment is not expedient. See, because when they looked around and said, well, has anything happened? But they don't know they was compiling evil on top of evil and wickedness on top of wickedness, because whom Yahweh loveth, he chastised. But he doesn't love the wicked man. And it said the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So he gives the wicked a free hand to do that which is wrong. So when he brings about the punishment, he brings about, like I said, there's two types of punishment: the long-range plan or the instant plan. Now you think which one Yahweh gonna give him. See, so what I want to give information that would be, and like I say, any information that we would get, I like to feel that it will strengthen, it will enhance our ability to survive, because where there's no vision, the people will perish. So what is our vision other than those things that have been written in this book, what they call the Bible? So I want to show you that Yahweh didn't leave it to our imagination to know how to make an interpretation of a thing. I want to show you the difference between the new and the old, and that the new does not follow the same rules and regulations that's been set down in what they call the old. We know that the old and new wasn't inscribed by our God Yahweh. It was given, that name was given by those who compiled the books. They said one was old and one was new. So I'm saying to you, what I want to show you is that God never had nothing to do with that. So that's why I say there's a way and it seemeth right. These ways seemeth right, but they're not right. But these are for the children that have no vision. These are for the children that have been blind, so that they might take part with the wicked children, and that they might be misled. So I want to be commenced to show you that Yahweh established the Old Testament in such a way that when you learn about it, you're going to see that the books that was constructed in what they call the New wasn't the same way it was constructed in what they call the Old. So I want to make these comparisons. So to do that, I want us to start at Numbers chapter 12, verse 4 to 8. Numbers chapter 12, verse 4 to 8. It says, with him will I speak mouth to mouth. Okay, let me start at 4. And Yahweh spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And Yahweh came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both came forward. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him what? In a dream. My servant Moses is not so, whom is faithful in all my house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of Yahweh shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? So what is happening is that he said that any other prophet other than Moses, he would speak in visions and in dreams. But as for Moses, Moses spoke to him mouth to mouth, that he saw his similitude. Now, let's go, because the only way you can prove these things is to see the correlation of it. Does it go through the whole book? See? And you'll see that he says he said that his prophets would see, the prophets that he would speak to, he will speak to them other than Moses in visions and in dreams. Now let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 18. There's no way to find the truth than to see whether or not this runs through the whole book. Because if it doesn't run through the whole book, it's just like I ask somebody, I say to them, they tell me that they're out of some type of order, and they use the Bible, or they're from some type of Christian doctrine. I ask them, where is it written of you in this book? You know, I can show them that Israel is written in the book, but where does it speak of you? I don't want to discuss it in any other terms. Where does it talk about you in this book? And they can't find it, because it only talks about Israel. I want to know, where does it talk about where one man said, you know, God needed an organization? Where does it say that Yahweh, God, needed an organization? It never said that in the book. So you're not written. It's not you. You don't even come in the mind of God. You have constructed something of your own imagination. That's why I say, lean not upon thy own understanding. You don't have to reconstruct what Yahweh has constructed. It's perfect. He said, don't add to or take away. So when I see these groups that come along with the Bible, you got some groups now that they wrote their own Bible because it wasn't convenient to read out of the normal standard King James 16:11. So they reconstructed Because now, I'm reading out of the King James Version. I haven't made any book that belonged to me, and I can show you that this whole book is mine. I can show more proof that this book belongs to me, and not one of them, not even this man that calls himself, that's a so-called Jew, he cannot prove that this book belongs to him. The geography that doesn't confirm that. You know? So I'm saying to you, it's very important that we understand clearly our position. Because as being an Israelite, you should not be an Israelite because somebody told you. You should be an Israelite because you sat down and studied. The average person in any group that says that they are promoting a certain idea of the Bible, if they're great Bible readers, they can never find themselves in this book. So they have only attached themselves to an illusion, but they have not attached themselves to the truth. Because I want to know, does this book and how does it pertain to you? You can't tell me you're a witness if you ain't seen nothing. We're not our forefathers was the witness because they saw it. But we are the inheritance of what they said, so we are what you call believers. You understand? But when we came into this book and we found that the book belongs to us, now we're no longer believers, we knowers. And this is the book they gave to us. And we found that this book is our identity. Now we didn't go up there and change anything. They gave us a book and they laughed. Now they can't laugh because we have proven, and don't think that they haven't researched because they're changing the Bible constantly because they're hearing the things that have come out of our mouth. But it doesn't matter. Let them change. Because if somebody has to change something that you see that they were satisfied before they thought that it was theirs, then it must be something wrong with them. They wasn't changing it before. They wasn't changing it before. It was all right, it was fine. Now we show them and can prove it. Just recently, if you take one of the Bibles of the Jehovah's Witness, they tell you when you open up the first, the cover, and you see the map, they tell you where they used to say the Promised Land or the Holy Land, where they didn't tell you it was Africa. Now in their book they tell you it's Africa because we backed them up in a corner. Yes. They can't say no. They never, when they told the people the Middle East, we thought it was a new place.
That's right. It was a good separate part from
we didn't know where it was at. When we found out there's only 7 continents, it had to be on one, and you can count from 1 to 7 easy. So we can see he's used every trick. Now the tricks have pushed him in the corner. He's going to let loose this one day because he's angry that he has had every tool. But what Yahweh said, he said, I'll catch the craft, the wise in his own craftiness. Didn't he say that? These people have been trapped off and we didn't do anything. They put their own selves in checkmate. If they knew that they had the chosen people of the living God in bondage, in captivity, in slavery in America, didn't they know that we were that intelligent that we would eventually figure it out? The moment you think that you're smarter than the individual you tricking, you done tricked yourself. Whenever you underestimate a person, you done underestimate yourself. When you understand he's just as smart as you and he's thinking, then you see that if you made a lie, the chances are more likely they're going to find that out. They found out we was the most intelligent thing in this country. We was more smarter than the master that held us in captivity.
That's why they didn't want us to read.
That's right.
They didn't want us to know.
Because they were hiding. And there were white people that taught us to read. There were those of us that were so bright, we caught on so fast. They can't stop us. We're the chosen people of the living God. Every law that they had laws that prevented us from reading. If they caught a white man teaching, they took his life. Can we read now? You better believe it. Because there's nothing they can do to us. We're constantly flipping things over. You can't ask a man to pray and not change things. When they gave us the Bible, they gave us the key back home. But they figured, oh, they ain't going to find out nothing. We know more about this book than they would ever believe. We're teaching them. And they get mad when anybody stands on television and begin to tell the truth. Because they have to, what they have to do is take themselves out of the picture. But see, we have to realize we can't just tell him. We got to know this is truth, and we got to put it in our lives and make it real. Because he's angry now. He done messed up his own house. That's right. He done messed up this planet, and he's angry. He's angry. And he has to enter into hell with confusion and madness. And he's going down in great wrath. He's not going to enter into hell calm. He's going to enter into hell in a raving madness. Because whatever he don't want to do, he don't want to see you and I rise. But what did Yahweh say in the 23rd Psalm? He going to put a table. He ain't going to hide it from our enemy. He going to put it before our enemy. And they ain't going to be able to do nothing. Wow. That's right. He said he going to raise us up. And isn't he raising us up in this country? He don't have to give us no factory and no money. We don't have to go through his doors. Because we, as the Bible said, you sold yourself for naught, you will be redeemed without money. And our redemption is in what? Keeping of the commandments of Yahweh. The law is our Savior. We ain't looking for nobody to crack no sky and come down here and save us. These people would love that. They love anything easy. One man said, we saved by grace. I said, explain to me what grace is. I said, that means you don't have to do nothing. Then he started misunderstanding. I said, oh, that means you do got to do something. So I said, no, but explain to me what grace is, because keeping the law, you got to do something. You got to keep the law. I said, do you think that God, being an intelligent God, would have given us something that we couldn't do? I said, he's punishing us because we could do it. It would be unfair of God to give his chosen people something that they couldn't do and then beat them. If you read the law, you mean we couldn't keep the dietary law? We couldn't keep the Sabbath? We couldn't keep the law that pertained to the temple that we would go up every year? He was feeding us. You telling me that Yahweh gave us a law? Well, I tell you what you do. Let these people give you a law that you tell the judge when you get up there you can't keep it, and see if he don't put you in jail. Won't he put you in jail? Oh, Your Honor, I can't keep that law. You tell him that. You gonna keep the law. That ain't good. Yahweh never gave us no law that we couldn't keep. We were a rebellious people. That's why the police is out here. It's for the rebellious people, but the majority of the people keep the law. The jails can't hold everybody. But that officer that's patrolling, he is there for those that will break it. And what do? He give you a summons, a warning, or he puts you in front of the judge, and the judge makes a decision of what is going to occur to you. Is that not right? You break this man's law and find out if he don't put... Just like when we broke the law of Yahweh. They tell you how merciful. There was nobody more merciful to the children of Israel. And through the mercy he gave the children of Israel, he gave all humanity. That's right. Because all humanity came up and took and went into Jerusalem, and all of them got a Bible. All of it's been translated. Our documents, our customs and traditions have been translated in all languages. It's been in all corners of the world. How can a man that says he's in another part of the planet tell you to read the book? I remember many years they sent some missionaries into Africa, into one of the tribes. And in this tribe, they didn't commit adultery, or they just didn't mate with each other unless they want to have kids. Now he's trying to tell the people not to commit adultery when they wasn't committing it. See, there's some people there's some groups that they don't break certain laws. There's other laws they might break. But I'm saying to you is that we had the complete thing. That's why we were rulers of the planet. We had the divine law from Yahweh himself. And this is what I want to show you tonight, is that this is what makes us special. Yahweh made us special in many ways. One, he came to us. Two, he talked to us. Three, he gave us the law. Four, he gave us a divine name. He made sure that we had a personal contact with him. What other nation? He said, I ain't going to deal with nobody. I gave you a special privilege. Now I want you to deal with me the way I tell you. I didn't command you to keep my commandments. First I came and served you. Now I want you to serve me. What could we say? What could we say? Nothing. What didn't he do for us? He did everything. And then when he found us wrong, he didn't just beat us up. He compassionately attempted to talk to us. He said, now, Israel, let's sit down and tell me how I am unjust. Now, this is the eternal God that's having a divine love affair with a people. He didn't create us because he hated us. That would show a shortcoming in him. He created us because he loved us. So we should ride on that strength. We should embrace this with unconditional love. Whatever he say to do, we should want to do. There's no hatred if you got your mind on Yahweh. How I'm going to hate another man? The world hates me. How many people in this country don't hate the American black man? They come in the country being taught to hate them and not to deal with them. And none of them brought one thing here. Everybody else is beggars. They made sure wherever they came from, they came with nothing, begging. And this, what they do, they make sure they have what they want. We ain't angry with them. They in the land of disappointment. They may think this is the land of honey. This is the land of disappointment, because when America closed her borders and began to afflict, when the lights go out in this country, we know where all the furniture is, and we ain't going to fall over one piece, and everybody going to be hurting themselves. Because this is the land of their disappointment. And I shall bring all nations down in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and there shall I plead for my people whom the nations have scattered. Yahweh's pleading for us. He's brought them all here. And they're all here to get a whipping. That's right, because we've been divinely whipped in America. That's right. You don't have to tell the story. The story is so bad, they hide it. They ain't going to tell you your history. So I want to make that clear. Everybody else here is beggars. The American black slave that came in America, he was not a liability to him. He was an asset. When we came here, they didn't have no schools on the plantation to teach us anything. We knew it. We came from an agricultural environment. We knew, and we were so ingenious that if you look and go and see the inventions of black people, and look at the dates, it's like it came, the spirit of inventions dropped on us, and we just went mad. Look at the dates, it's almost one behind another. That's right. We are divine.
Man doing maybe 10, maybe 4 or 5 inventions.
That's right. And because Yahweh wanted to prove, you know what he wanted to show us? He said, I'm going to take you into this land. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to let you go in there with something. I'm going to make you an asset. And they still ain't going to like you. He said, and then I'm going to bring the rest of the strangers after you, and they ain't going to come in with nothing, and they going to open their hands to them, kiss them in the mouth, and give them everything, and you're going to be jealous. Hasn't they done that?
Yes, they have. Yes,
Haven't they done that? They come in here, they get stores. Oh, yes, they do.
they still do.
And they make sure they get it.
Come right into the community.
And make sure, come on over here, I got this money for you. You want to, I will give you this. That's right. They make sure that they give them everything they want. And they make sure, but what Yahweh said, the way they have served themselves of us, Yahweh's going to punish them. Because all they had to do, we are a vessel among the Gentiles of no more pleasure. We're here for tax purposes. We're here to pay his taxes, to be afflicted the way he wants to. He wants us. To be humiliated before the world. Why? Because we failed our first and only true love, Yahweh. Why? Because we didn't keep the commandments of Yahweh. So let me continue to show you that in Numbers chapter 12, verse 4 to 8, he said he spoke to Moses face to face, mouth to mouth, and he says, but others he'll make it known unto them in visions and dreams. And in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15, starting at verse 15, Yahweh thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken. According to all that thou desires of Yahweh, thy God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And Yahweh said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto them, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak what? In my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall what? Die. And if thou sayest in thy heart, how shall we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yahweh, if the thing follows not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yahweh has not spoken, but the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. So, you don't hear them speaking in the name of what they call Christ. That's right. See, and he said he would lift up a prophet that would be like unto us. So we ain't looking for no Esau, or what they call a white man, to rise up and say he's a prophet for us. We're looking for one of our own, our brethren. We're looking for one. He said, I will raise one like unto your own brethren. Oh, and he shall speak to you. He shall be a prophet. So we ain't looking for no other group other than those within our own that will identify. And we know that he will speak in the name. He will say, Gaha Amari Yahweh, thus said Yahweh. Now, if he does that, and he presumptuously says that, Yahweh will destroy him. That's right. This is what it says. And even if he comes in the name of another God and say that, Yahweh will destroy him, because it says here, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. So they can't come to us speaking any other way other than the truth, because we know how it is to be presented to us. You understand what I'm saying? So we are not lost. When they rise up a prophet unto them, it's for them. It's not our prophet, because we know what our prophet must do. So let us go, because he says, let us go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel, chapter 3. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 3. And the child Samuel ministered unto Yahweh before Eli. And the word of Yahweh was precious in those days. There was no open vision. See, there was no open vision. Because he said he would make himself known in a vision. Now, it also says in verse 4, okay, it says, let's go to verse 4 of that chapter, that Yahweh called Samuel, and he answered, Here am I. And he ran unto Eli and said, Here am